Hi, this is Pete Morrill with Marble Mountain Kennels. This is Sundance. She's a yellow female, and she has been through our Super Citizen training. Now she's going through 30 days to introduce her to the house. So this week is really about reviewing the basics and adding lots of temptation. So the first temptation that we're going to add is praise. The second temptation that we're going to add is distance. And then we're going to add motion as well. So we're going to take her and we're going to say here, and then we're going to call her. We're going to ask her to sit. Then we're going to ask her to go down. Then we're going to add temptation. Okay, sit. Sit. So she's got a platform here. Here, kennel. Sit. Good. Now we're going to add the temptation of praise. Oh, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. So praise can be verbal. That's the most tempting. The second most tempting is to pet her. The third is to come down at her level. Sit, good girl. Good girl. You can see how she's tempted, but she's done pretty well. Now I'm adding the temptation of motion. That is moving around her, and she should stay in the sit position. So she did a real good job, but if she didn't, I was just going to check her and just give her a little check with the collar. So we'll do it on this platform as well. Sit. Kennel. Good. Now she naturally likes to lay down on her pillow, which that's okay. That's not a disobedience to the sit command. It's just kind of like, well, Dad, I know you're going to want me to go down, but I'm going to give her lots of distraction. Oh, that's a good girl. Notice how she almost came off. That's a good girl. For her, that really is hard. So now we're going to go with a little distance. So distance, sit. Praise. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Getting down at her level. Good girl. Nah. So what I'm going to do is ask her to go back onto her mat by giving just a little bit of pressure right on her foot. Good girl. Good girl. So you can see that she got the lesson. Now we're going to ask her to do it on a different surface. Here, kennel. Good girl. Lots of motion. So she shouldn't have stood up, but we'll work on that tomorrow, because really what we're trying to do. Good girl, lots of praise. Good girl, good girl. Lots of praise. And the last thing, the last temptation, since she, so distance she had a hard time with, plus she saw another dog at the door, so she got excited. So I put her back and I growled the second that she made the mistake, so she knew. So you see how she recognized where the mistake was? Now her foot's off the mat a little bit, so I'm just going to give her a little pressure, put it back on the mat to remind her she's most in charge of her front 2 feet. So if her back feet came off, I wouldn't correct her, but if her front feet came off, okay. So obviously she likes the ball, right? But it's a great temptation. So all we're doing is we're adding all of her basic commands and giving her temptation. Sundance. Good girl, Sundance. You're doing really good. So this is week 2, day 1 of introducing your dog after the Super Citizen program. We're really just emphasizing the basics and giving her lots of temptation. Praise, motion, ball, all are good temptations for her at this stage in the game.